One of the goals for many of our clients is to set up a legacy of giving that can last for generations. When we think about this, we often think about a private family foundation. The issue is that a private family foundation can be complex, costly, and frankly out of reach for most families. Luckily, there's a simple and elegant solution that can solve the problem. It's called a donor-advised fund. A donor-advised fund gives you the power of a family foundation without the complexity. You get an immediate tax deduction, the ability to grow your charitable funds over time, the ability to donate those funds to different charities whenever you're ready, and the ability to pass that fund on to the next generation. Let me walk you through how a donor-advised fund works. There's 4 easy steps: create, contribute, invest, and grant. We'll walk you through each of these steps individually. Step 1 is to create your donor-advised fund account. You do this at one of the major firms like Schwab or Fidelity the same way you would open an IRA. These firms have set up a charitable arm that manages these accounts. At a place like Schwab, it's called DAF Giving 360. Your account will be in your name, just like your IRA, and you have the same control and ability to manage investments. But since it's part of Schwab's registered charity, your account growth is tax-free. Step 2 is to contribute to your account. There's technically no hard minimum on these accounts, but we find that around $100,000 is a good place to start to build a lasting legacy. Once you contribute to a donor-advised fund, you get an immediate tax deduction. This differs based on your special situation and the kind of contributions you make, so you should always check with a registered tax consultant before making any of these decisions. Once you've contributed, though, you now have the ability to manage the investments and build a portfolio. Here's the beauty. You don't actually have to direct these assets to any charity just yet. You can take your time, let the funds grow, and over time determine who you want to grant that money to. We'll talk about that in just a minute. You can continue to contribute to this account year after year. You can also have friends and family contribute to it as well because it's a registered charity, and they would get an immediate tax deduction for themselves. Step 3 is to build a portfolio and invest the money. Because this is a registered charitable account, the money will grow tax-free forever. The final step is to grant the money to worthy charities. You get to decide when to grant the money and how much you want to grant. There's no technical amount that you have to give each year, though some firms will put a minimum. For example, they want to see 4% given every single year. So check with your provider to find out what those rules are. When you make these grants, you can give it in your name, you can make the donation anonymously, or you can give it in honor of someone else. That's completely up to you when you make the grant. Donor-advised funds give you an excellent way of passing on the legacy of giving. One of the most beautiful things that I've seen done with a donor-advised fund is having it set up by grandparents. Then each year at Christmas time, the grandparents would give a small amount to each grandchild and ask them to pick a worthy cause that they want to donate to. They'd give them guidelines on what kind of charities they should look for that are in line with their values. Each of those grandchildren would then present to the grandparents who they want that money to go to. And when they're all agreed, the grandparents can make a grant from their donor-advised fund in the name of their grandchildren to that charity. This is a fantastic way of passing on that value of charity and of showing them how to discern different charities and know what's in line with their values. And it's a great way to get the whole family involved. At Core Capital Management, we believe that donor-advised funds are a very important way of setting up a legacy of giving.